Hello, I'm Jeff Myers, and welcome to Elgin Today. On this edition, a busy show this time as we first go to the new South Street extension where bikes tested out the roadway first, and we'll see the official ribbon cutting. A new female bison, as of yet unnamed, arrived at the Lords Park Zoo to join Becky and Drew. David Schmidt, a 27-year veteran of the Elgin Fire Department, takes the oath of office to be the 17th fire chief in the history of the city. The Mayor David Captain segment comes from a tall building in downtown Elgin as the mayor is joined by historian Bill Briska, and we hear the history of the professional building. We'll have these stories and more on this edition of Elgin Today. The official opening of the South Street extension west of Randall Road became an opening venue event for bicycles on Saturday, October 29th. A ribbon-cutting ceremony would take place on this day as well, but first we hear from Tom Armstrong. He's president of the Elgin Community Network and a member of the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Council. Tells us how the bikes became the first tires to hit the new road.
Several months ago, Dad, who lives out in one of these subdivisions west of Randall Road, suggested that we have a race up and down the new South Street, a running race. And we said, well, how about a bike ride? And so we talked to city staff about that. Let's call this thing Ride Down South. And so that's what we organized today. We started at Shamrock Park at 11 o'clock this morning. The first wheels on this road are bicyclists. So it's a great day, great event.
City Manager Rick Kozel gave some background on the project to the crowd before the official ribbon cutting took place.
8 years ago, the developers that were responsible for putting this road into place threw their shovels down on the ground and walked away. The Great Recession had leveled everything that they had going, but Elgin, unlike so many other communities that didn't have the protections in place to make sure that work like this would be completed, because of the work of its engineering staff, Joe Evers, Ron Rudd, the work of its corporation counsel, Bill Cogley, who went and litigated to make sure that the insurers came up with the money that was necessary to complete this work. We're standing here today. It took 8 long years, but we do things the right way in Elgin. We resisted the market forces to allow these developers to move forward without having the protections in place, and that's why we stand here today, ready to go down this incredible extension of South Street for 1 mile. Thanks everybody for coming out.
After the official ribbon cutting took place, Elgin Mayor David Captain had these thoughts on what the South Street extension would mean to the city of Elgin.
This is important for the neighborhoods to the west of us, Waterford, Providence, Edgewater. They can all access the shopping center over here. It's important to this multi-million-dollar shopping center to provide customers, make it easy for them to get here. Like I said, it's an easy way. It's 1 mile. They can get a gallon of milk now and get a bike, take a walk in, and maybe have an ice cream cone with their kids down here. So it means a lot, opens up transportation. Transportation is the key to economic development, key to the success of a neighborhood and to the joy that people have in their life. It's got a great bike path, so it's going to offer a lot of good things out here for these communities.
And a biking police chief, Jeff Swoboda, had these thoughts about the new South Street extension.
It's exciting. Now it's going to help with a lot of traffic problems, especially at 20 and Long Common, and just allow people to get to the access over here for grocery shopping from the neighborhood. So it's just a great extension that needed to happen a long time ago. I'm glad that the city saw it through and made it happen. This
bison, being restrained in 1905 in South Dakota, would live a long and healthy life at the Lords Park Zoo in Elgin, and was forever remembered in this 1909 Elgin postcard. Now on Monday morning, November 7th, a new baby bison was safely transported to the zoo to join the herd that already exists, making it 3, as the long-time tradition of bison, 111 years, continues at the Lords Park Zoo, and we get the details.
Yes, Jeff. We've been we being the Friends of Lords Park Zoo, have been talking with the city for several years now about adding bison to the current 2 herd, Becky and Drew. One of the problems we have with Becky and Drew is they're beginning to get old, and we certainly don't want a bison to be a solitary in the pen, because they typically go with herds. Consequently, we've been working with the city to add bison to the present 2. Today, it's a beautiful day. We picked one up from Fermilab. They have an auction once a year, and the Friends of Lords Park Zoo bid on it and won one of them. So we have a heifer, a female, and she just arrived about an hour ago. She's apparently getting along very well with Drew and Becky. Once everybody's satisfied with how the adjustment is going, she'll be allowed to get in the pen with the other two. We hope to add another bison next year, and then we'll be up to our size of 4, which is the limit for the pen.
Gary Bender and all the staff got that little gal in there nice and easy, didn't he?
Oh, yes. I can't say enough about Public Works. They've done a fantastic job. And also the City Council approved a number of improvements to the bison pen. They spent up to $200,000 on getting a squeeze chute and making a containment area, which makes it safer for the workers and for the bison.
It was a wonderful summer for the zoo, and everybody came out to see the bison and also the other venue you had.
Absolutely. We had over 10,000 visitors again, and that's 10,000 people in only 70 work days. It was a very great time. We also had programs that we collaborated with the Elgin Public Museum, and we also had Gail Borden and the Historical Society. It was a very good year. We had over 13 programs this summer, and they were attended literally by maybe 125 each program. It was really a successful summer for us.
That's great. We're seeing the young bison looking at us right now, as a matter of fact. They're kind of doing that bison walk, getting to know each other, aren't they?
Right. It's not a perp walk, but it's a bison walk. Exactly, Jeff.
Name-wise, how will we come about with a new name?
Well, we'll have a name sometime next year, Jeff, in 2017. We haven't worked out the specifics yet, but we'll probably involve the community. We may involve some schools. It may be the museum. We'll probably have maybe a list of Indian names because it seems appropriate that a bison have an Indian name since that's where they came from. And Indians, of course, the link between Indians and Native Americans is well known. But like I said, we haven't worked the specifics out yet, but we will be involving the community and other interested groups to help us with the naming.
It's Friday afternoon, November 18th. This crowd assembled in the Heritage Ballroom at the center of Elgin to see David Schmidt take the official oath of office as Elgin's 17th Fire Chief over the last 139 years for the city. After the oath, Dave's wife, Chris, would officially pin the Fire Chief badge on, and Dave, who was interim chief since August when Chief Fahey retired, became Elgin's Fire Chief. Chief Schmidt, who's been a member of the Elgin Fire Department since September of 1989, told those in attendance this.
For those of you that don't know, I'm a second-generation firefighter. My dad started in Rolling Meadows in 1969, worked up the ranks to battalion chief, retired in 1994. Wasn't enough, he went over to Michigan and Walker outside of Grand Rapids, became the chief there for 15 years. Not to be done yet. Then took a job with FEMA, where he's still working today. It's, I think it's safe to say where I got my work ethic from. Since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, I spent my time at the firehouse and the fire scenes in Rolling Meadows. So staying in this line of work was a no-brainer. And I can honestly say that I still love my job, even after all these years.
So congratulations go out to the new chief, David Schmidt, a 27-year veteran of the Elgin Fire Department. Well-known faces attended this luncheon gathering of the Elgin Hispanic Network on Wednesday, November 16th. We will talk with the current president of the group, but first we'll hear from the president-elect of the group about what this gathering is all about.
We are actually at Elgin Community College, and we're actually here because we're doing our 25th annual sponsorship for the luncheon that we have annually. Our mission actually is to provide a place of network and resources in our community, and our main function is to try to help students who are not able to get scholarships, provide scholarships for them. So this is our fundraiser so we can get opportunities for students to get scholarships. I think it's a place that we're growing. We're looking for the future to help our youth grow and see if we can help be more involved in our community. And it's a great opportunity for agencies, people who are around that want to be part of it would be great. So I think one of the great benefits is to bring different sectors in the community together and provide resources for our community and serving the Latino population. So we come together as one and see how we can help each other out.
We've been really good at helping to be connectors and a resource for all of the resource organizations, pulling them together so that we can actually help get the word out to all of the different members of the community and also all the different organizations that do the similar things, and then they can work together. we've been able to develop a scholarship program, which is one of the main reasons we're here today, is to raise funds for scholarships for college-bound students. We've gotten our 501c3 this year, which is a new thing altogether. But we've been growing as a group for quite some time, and we've expanded into even helping to find other types of scholarships to be available for our students. We're really excited about the 2017 year, the year 2017 I should say, because what we want to do is continue to expand on providing as many resources as we can to the community.
It's time for our segment with Mayor David Captain. And Mayor, we are cozy and inside for this edition.
We sure are. We're stepping back in time a little bit today, Jeff. We're in the lobby of that hallway of the professional building near the entryway. And with us today is Bill Briska. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of this great architectural piece of Elgin. And I think that many people that grew up here like I did had a doctor or a dentist here. And part of my history goes back 1965. I registered for the draft right down this hallway. And I think that kind of connects us all back to this building. And Bill's here to talk about the history, how this building was built, why it was built, and what it served, what its function was for the city of Elgin.
Bill Briska, we appreciate that 164 division we're at, and you know a lot about this building.
I love this building. It's one of the Elgin's great gems. It's one of the best examples of Gothic Revival architecture in the commercial mode in Elgin. It was built in 27 and 28, opened in 28. It was the brainchild of one of the Ackman brothers who had the department store across the street. Yeah. They were looking for office space for professionals in downtown Elgin. They really wanted to have clean, modern, kind of attractive building. And this building was designed for that, with retail on the first floor and on the mezzanine where we're standing today. Mm-hmm. And then the upper floors would be office space. And the very top was reserved for the Union League Club, kind of a clubhouse up there with a nice big sitting room, a dining room, and some little rooms for the club members to use. Very nice. The idea was that they were going to build the building based on the height of the building, on how many tenants they got in the building. And so that ended up being an 8-story building, because that's the number of tenants they wanted, or they ended up with. They really wanted to go a couple more floors. Mm-hmm. So one of Elgin's great treasures.
It is. When we walk in the lobby-way, what's all that ornamentation called?
Well, it's Gothic Revival, and so in a typical Gothic Revival, you see that kind of trifold, that kind of cloverleaf kind of pattern. I think most people would recognize that on the columns, and you see these arched little windows and doorways here with a little point on them. You see some very nice little stained glass shields in the office windows and that, and a nice use of stone, and of course this dark wood for trim out.
It's beautiful. It must have really had you gawking as a youngster to see that lobby.
Oh, this was tremendous. When you walk in and you see this large open space, the second floor balcony that goes around here. And as young kids, we used to come up on here and walk around. Obviously, you had to come up here to take a look and see what's going on. But elevators here were great. And I think overall, I think the building has been pretty well preserved. I don't think there have been a lot of changes here. When you look at this, it's pretty much as I remember it, even the glass and the windows. And that's probably very unusual for a building in a city like Elgin. I think that'd be pretty unusual.
And you've gotten great use out of the top floor in recent years.
Yes, and that was something that was vacant for a long time. There was nobody up there. I think they had a little storage in there. Mm-hmm. And the city of Elgin took that over for art space. Or art showcase, I'm sorry. And at that time, we started to do some plays up there, and what a great venue, what a great view of the city. And what's kind of strange to me, every time I go up there, I get turned around, and I have to look out the window and then try to figure out which way I'm facing, whether I'm north, south, east, or west, because it twists you around as you go up. The elevators discharge on different directions, so I lose my sense of direction up there.
That's wonderful. Yeah, Janus Theater's in great place up there. Like I say, everybody's had some fun up there.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Great.
And I love the office floors too, because it's vintage, and that's the nice thing about this building. It really has that vintage feel to it. Has been adulterated by so-called modernizations. Mm-hmm. And the office floor hallways with those frosted glass windows all along the offices, that it just brings you right back to the 1920s and 30s.
And the professional building, because we had lots of tenants who were professionals. That's how we got the name.
Originally, doctors, lawyers, insurance people, accountants, all those little practices that required, being downtown in a commercial core.
We were king of the tall buildings in the late 20s, and were we not?
Well, it was
this?
a city, and it was, it really identified it. The tower building, I think, was built in
29,
and,
shortly.
yeah, it was shortly after, and this one identified us as a city. And made us different than Hampshire and places around us, and I think that was no doubt an effort on the on local business people and local investors to send that statement. I think one of the things that I think is really special, as Bill pointed out, this stayed pretty much the same. And how many? I don't know, this may be a question you can't answer, but how many owners have they had through this building? It's been
I don't know, because a few years after the building was built, the financing went into bankruptcy. It was the Great Depression, 32. And so they struggled along for there, and they had a few reorganizations, but I don't know how many owners they've had. Of course, the Stickley Foundation owned it for the last, 20 or 30 years. Not 20, probably 30, but the last 20. And then now it's owned by another company.
Yeah, Mr. Stickling owned this building and the tower building at the same time. And this one just managed to survive and survive without the damage and the issues that went on at the tower building. So I think it's really a great, for people that are new to Elgin and have not really had a chance to come downtown and look, just come down and take a walk or come down and see a play even better. And go up on the top floor, but take a walk through the building and really see what this was the feel, and you walk in, you immediately feel like you're in the 1930s.
Yeah, that's great. Great tenants, Grindstone Productions, who are involved, of course, in the project 231. They're here, and so other folks. They're pretty good, healthy clientele, isn't it?
And I think the office space here is relatively cheap per square foot, and it's a great office setup nowadays for, 1 or 2 man shops. Software developers are in the building and that. So this is really a great location for people trying to get going in business, or businesses that have been going for a while that might just be an accountant or a one-man operation like Grindstone is.
Yeah. And of course, it looks like everything stayed modern, as you say, and up to date, and no problem with anything.
And when the tower building started to have some real problems, many of the people that were in the tower building moved over to this the building. And I remember some of the floors were not doing real well. We had some issues here with
ceiling, didn't we?
With ceiling and with fire suppression, those kind of things, and had to be brought up to speed just by state law. They have to provide sprinklers, and if I don't know, you may not remember, but when they started the art showcase upstairs, they had to have a firefighter to help people down the stairs, because there was only one elevator, and so it had to be
made it fun for
people.
The first few times.
Well, went on for a relatively long time. But
What was the elevators? Were the elevators always legal, or were they more updated in the tower?
they're more updated. Yeah, they were automatic, but there was only one that was functioning at that time. So in case the elevator went out, we had to have a way to get people downstairs. Yeah, but this building's really great, and it's a really great asset for the city of Elgin, and I think that makes us unique as a community, and makes us different than some other places. And other communities and other mayors would love to have something like this in their downtown.
No question, because it looks very attractive as you drive by right on Division Street. It's beautiful.
Oh, it is beautiful on the front facade, absolutely. And, this building was built by an Elgin firm, the Gertz family construction. So the architects weren't local, but the construction guys were, and that's very good. Yeah.
So these are Elgin bricks we're seeing, kind of.
Well,
Elgin.
Don't know about that.
Made by Elgin tradespeople.
It's good. We're down to about 45 seconds, Mayor. It's Bill, it's been a delight that you took us through this tour.
Oh, geez, I love the building. I think the city's done a great job of trying to push this along with the art space up there and give the building some life and keep it going. And I hope that it economically prospers from this point on out.
It's great. Art space events, of course, on the city website. You can hear about them all the time, and invite everybody to come out for those.
And I think it's, with the tower building being occupied, it's going to take on a new life. And between the tower building and the professional building, I think it really defines us as a city. So that's looking forward to having both back in service.
Well, we're standing cozy but tall, because we're in tall buildings, I guess we could say, Bill and Mayor.
There we go, Jeff. That's why you're in charge.
Yeah, that's why I'm in the middle. All right, that's it. 164 Division Street. That's our segment with Mayor David Captain and Bill Briska from the professional building. It's Sunday, November 6th, the crowd approaching 300 in the Heritage Ballroom at the center of Elgin for the 37th Annual Elgin Sports Hall of Fame Foundation Induction Banquet. 5 new members are proud to take their place on the wall and in the hall. Let's get to meet them.
It was fun. I love playing softball. So, played 4 years. I was on varsity, I believe, almost all 4 years, or 3 years, and loved it. Met a lot of great people.
Yeah, a lot of all-star teams.
A lot of all-star teams, yep.
What was your position?
In high school, I think I played second base and shortstop.
And then you moved on to Northern Illinois, is that right?
Yes, then I went to Northern Illinois. I walked on as a junior.
Really?
And tried out, and they had an infield already full, so they tried me out in the outfield, so then I stayed there. So I made the team there.
And became a regular?
Yes.
The first 2 years of college, you were just studying a lot?
Yeah, that was right. No, I was just trying to figure out if I should play. I didn't get recruited to play, so I didn't know if I should play, and finally I said, I can do this. Let's try. So
you're like a Rudy that actually made a starting lineup.
Exactly. Walked on as a junior.
2 years later, junior, that's incredible.
Knowing that I'd be there for 5 years, so I said I can commit to 3 years of playing.
My dad was my coach. That was probably the most thing I remember. It was just really fun and important to him and me, so it worked out well.
Are there any conference meets or any individual days that come to mind?
The districts when I was a senior, Tony Adams was finally gone, and I won 4 events, so that was pretty exciting.
And you became an Ivy Leaguer, is that right?
Correct.
Wow. Well, tell me about those days at Cornell.
I went there obviously for the academics, but it was important to me because I got to play football and run track, and that was the only place that I looked at that would let me do that. So that worked out well.
See a lot of football action as well?
Yeah, I started for 2 years as a defensive back.
Played 4 years at Valpo, and I actually live in Valpo now, so it's a big part of my life, yeah.
Are you coaching there?
I'm coaching at Wheeler High School.
Wow, congratulations.
It's my first year coaching, so.
And you enjoyed your time in school at Valpo?
Yeah, definitely. I was a art major, and now I'm doing marketing, so.
Well, congratulations. Well, you're a great success story, on the court and off. Do you have relatives still in town?
My parents live out in Huntley, and my grandmother and aunt still live in Elgin, so.
When you got the call from the Elgin Sports Hall of Fame that you were inducted, how'd you feel?
Pretty awesome. It's nice to work so hard for something and be acknowledged for that. So
your Larkin days. Tell me about what stands out for being a star at Larkin in baseball.
Oh, it's just the team. We had a good team. One of the inductees that is here, Roger Smithburg, happened to play with him on Larkin's team. And we just had a good set of guys. Yeah. We played well together.
Larkin was Smithburg's the class of '84, and of course he got 66 men out in the majors.
Yes, and actually I played with Roger in the AA level in Wichita, Kansas.
And you've got a unique sport for us, don't you?
I do. I've been competing in Olympic weightlifting for the past 36 years.
That is incredible. You must have endless stories of travels all over the globe.
I do, especially since I'm now a referee. I travel all over the world. It's wonderful, the experiences that you get. We see things that other people don't get to see because of where the weightlifting venues are. And it's wonderful.
Imagine. And you are a 10-time Master World Champion, is that right?
Yes.
Tell me what that means.
So basically there's different divisions in weightlifting. A Master, I consider it's the old people. It's age 35 and above. And so in weightlifting, I have won 10 World Championships over the age of 35 up until 47 or something. Yeah.
And don't be modest, this is not your first Hall of Fame, is it?
No, I've been inducted into the World Masters Hall of Fame for winning 10 World Championships, and then at the national level for the United States, I was inducted for the Hall of Fame for winning 10 national championships, and then a supporter for weightlifting for everything I do.
Congratulations. How did you get involved with weightlifting at Larkin?
Well, I've always been a swimmer. I swam at Larkin High School, and I wanted to become a bodybuilder, and I didn't know better, and I happened to see the women's second annual weightlifting championships in St. Charles. I went at 15, I had no idea. I went to the coach and said I want to become a bodybuilder. He was a 2-time Hungarian Olympian. He said, I need to train you and get you strong first before we can get you into bodybuilding. And I've never stopped. So when I was in my prime, I was lifting about 210 pounds over my head, but that at the body weight of about 130 pounds, and that's without drugs. And then when I was in my older prime, at about 35, 36, I was lifting about 190.
We didn't rehearse it, but she's going to lift me right now. Is that right?
You're right.
Here we go. I'm going. We're set. Hey, congratulations. Now, when you got the call from the Hall of Fame, how did you feel?
I was excited. I've always wondered about it, if I could ever get involved, and be inducted, and so I'm so excited.
And you live in South Elgin.
I live in South Elgin right now. I've never left Elgin area.
Once again, it's almost time for PAD's Public Action to Deliver Shelter and their dancing fundraiser, which we saw in January of this year. Barb Kiselike of the City of Elgin and Jason Pulowski of the Chamber doing their best. Now let's hear from Brittany Mitchell, Special Projects Coordinator for PADS, about the event which takes place in January of 2017.
Jeff, this year we're so excited because we're really shaking up the dance contest. Last year was our 10th anniversary, so this year we wanted to do a lot of fun and new exciting routines. So this year our dance couples are Sarah Sills and Sam Michaels, Linda Deering and a group from Advocate Sherman, Tamara Newquist and a group from Carilion, Councilman Toby and Andrea Shaw, and Joyce Mateo and Cindy Rhodes. That's a wonderful list of dancers this year. It's going to be a new and exciting format, so it's really fun. And of course, people coming to the event can support the dancers there that evening, but you can also support your favorite dance team online ahead of time before the event. So you can also find the links on our website, padsofelgin.org, or on our Facebook page, and that's facebook.com/padsofElgin. So the dance this year is going to be on Saturday, January 28th, 2017 at the Crystal Lake Holiday Inn. This event is our biggest fundraiser of the year. It helps us keep the doors open through the cold winter months. So it's a wonderful way for us to, have a great night in the community, but also just to make sure that we can continue our mission of supporting the homeless men, women, and children in our community.
Next, we've got a great opportunity, Saturday, December 3rd. First of all, tell me your name and title.
Heather Muniz, I'm the event coordinator with the Downtown Neighborhood Association.
How ironic, we're talking about December 3rd. You got a big day planned for us, don't you?
We do. It's Downtown Elgin's Winter Wonderland. We have carriage rides, holiday music. We're having an outdoor holiday market this year. Of course, the Elgin Police Department's annual open house is that day as well.
On that day, of course, if you're watching us early in the month, you know that, but it's so beautiful in downtown Elgin throughout the month of December, isn't it?
It is, and it leads up to the City of Elgin's holiday tree lighting.
Oh, great. 5 o'clock hour, that means City Skate, weather permitting, will be open as well.
I love the City Skate. I do it every year.
I've seen you on skates.
Yes.
It's very nice. Well, we're really excited about that. You've added some great new things for us, so it's a very special day. Always is that December 3rd.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. That's what we want to remind everybody that one of my favorite events, it takes place at the Elgin Public Museum throughout the entire month of December, and it goes from every Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 4, touching on traditions.
Should be really exciting.
It's got everybody in Elgin with the great background, cultural background they have. They kind of lend their art and awareness to it, and so we celebrate holiday season everywhere.
Absolutely.
It's kind of fun, and that also brings us back. Cityscape will, weather permitting, as you can always call, of course, the phone number of 931-6140 with the 847 area code. If the weather's right, we can skate just about any time we want.
Sounds wonderful.
And you have something new for us since we're at Downtown Neighborhood Association. You got a great concept. Throughout the winter months, we have a market, don't we?
Yes, an indoor market at Advocate Sherman Hospital.
And that takes place when?
It's the second Thursday of every month through March.
Oh, wow, that's great. So that'll get warm inside?
It will be.
You've had great response early on that, haven't you?
Yes, absolutely.
So that's going to be at Advocate Sherman Hospital, right in the main entrance there. We walk in there and everybody's talked about how wonderful that is.
Correct.
Window Wonderland, winter this year, because you made that switch because we have so much good winter time, don't we?
Exactly.
All right. So we'll enjoy that on Saturday, December 3rd, and we'll have the sleigh rides. Are we roasting chestnuts again?
We are roasting chestnuts as well as s'mores this year.
Oh, boy. Well, we're there for sure. We're there in proper attire, I guess. Grand Victoria, of course, City of Elgin, great sponsors, along with great list that you have for us.
Yes.
So we want to get ready for that, don't we?
Yes.
The Winter Wonderland. Give us a ho, ho, ho real quick.
Ho, ho, ho.
That's it. That confirms that we're going to have a wonderful time Saturday, December 3rd, and throughout the whole month of December. Thanks, Heather.
Thanks, Jeff.
You can learn more about the information you saw here in Elgin Today or about city services, programs, and events by going to the Elgin website at www.cityofelgin.org. And now the City of Elgin has a 311 contact center. Elgin 311. Call, click, connect by calling 311, the city's information and request resource. For everyone here at Elgin Today, I'm Jeff Myers. We'll see you next time.